Jonty Sutton, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to our show, l'écho du mercredi,
Thank
the
you.
economic page on Maurice Info. You're here in Mauritius, you're not lucky, you have some bad weather. How is your stay in Mauritius?
Lovely, very, very short. I was only here for a day and a half, but it's always lovely to come down and see the team.
So, what are you doing in Mauritius for 36 hours, I can say?
So I've just come down to see the team and announce our exciting news and the investment by SQLI and Dedbox. So it's a very tight team that we run here. So I wanted to come down and tell the team in person and make sure they understood the news and what was going on. So hence the very short trip.
Is it important for you to communicate yourself? You could have done it by WhatsApp, by I don't know any video conference. This is important for you, but
it is. We're a service business, and ultimately that's all about people. So I've spent the last few days flying around our key offices and telling the team in person, and it's a very important point of the culture of our business.
Tell us about Dedbox Digital. What is that?
Sure. So Redbox is we talk about ourselves as a global commerce consultancy. So effectively we manage, design, run and build e-commerce solutions for customers all over the world. We primarily work with technology provided by Adobe and Magento, and both here in Mauritius and across our other offices we work with retail brands to help them get online and sell their products and services to their customers.
We'll come back to e-commerce in a few minutes. What's the role of a Mauritian office?
So the Mauritian office plays a really key role in our business. So we set up about 5 years ago, just coming up 6 years actually. And we set it up as effectively our centre of excellence. And what we do here is provide services to all the other offices within the Dedbox Digital Group. And that covers support, it covers quality assurance, it covers DevOps, all the sort of the secondary services, not the sales and the marketing, but the secondary services we need to provide service to our customers.
Why have you chosen Mauritius? Because of cybersecurity? Because we can talk French, English. We are in a good, let's say, good time zone.
Absolutely. So it was an interesting process. We looked, a number of years ago, we looked at all sorts of options. Obviously, there's this huge outsourcing capability in Eastern Europe. There's a lot of very traditional outsourcing into places like India. And when we were looking around at where we wanted to create this capability for our business, Mauritius, came up as an interesting and a slightly sort of left field option. But when we looked into it, I think that the core criteria and the key decision principles were very much based around, you mentioned time zone was a key factor. We have a lot of operations in the Middle East, so it works very, very well for there, given us in the same time zone. But for the UK core business, it's fantastic. You're 4 hours ahead or 3 or 4 hours ahead, depending on the time of year. And that provides us a huge benefit operationally in terms of being able to provide services and technical deployment capability and all of these things we do before the start of the business day in the UK. So there's a huge benefit in that in terms of team engagement, but just overall efficiency for our customers and how we can deliver for them. So that was a key factor. The other access, or the other key criteria that ultimately led us to establish in Mauritius were the education system and access to talent. So there's some very good universities here, and there's a good flow of IT graduate talent, which is obviously critical in a service business to be able to bring new talent into the business. The infrastructure is good. There's great connectivity and access into other markets, and then time zone obviously was a key factor.
Even though Mauritius is somewhere in the ocean, very far, 12, you can take 12 to 14 hours of flight to
That's
come
fine.
to Mauritius.
We're a digital business, so we're operating with clients all over the world, providing 24-hour services. So physical location is less of an issue these days, and in the current climate, that's obviously a pretty important point. But the other aspect to that as well is we've set up training capability here in Mauritius. So, obviously it's a lovely place to come. And ultimately bringing clients down here and be able to do training sessions and engagement and onboarding things, onboarding sessions is, it's a key factor as well. The time zone, not time zone, the travel distance is less of an issue. It all added up to be a good choice.
We can say at Redbox you have a day of 28 hours, so you have the 24 hours and you have the 4 hours backup in motion. So that's why you are ahead of everyone?
Yeah, it's a big factor. Operationally, we've seen a lot of shift in terms of our efficiency. We've been able to leverage a team here in Mauritius. So we get a much longer extended workday. The team do work 24/7 here, so we have rostered, especially from a support perspective. And they also provide services into our clients in Asia as well, into Australia and New Zealand and places. So it's very much the centre and the pinnacle of all the operations that we're providing.
This is the centre of the Redbox, the red point, I can say?
That's one way to put it, indeed.
So Maurice just bringing a very good news that you have a strategic investment with a key player in digital marketing in Europe, SQLI.
Indeed.
What's that all about?
So it's very exciting news. So SQLI have made an investment in Redbox, have taken a 60% ownership in the business, which is really, really exciting for us. It gives us access and to become part of a much larger group. SQLI are a listed company in France, about 2,500 people strong, operate across a number of countries in Europe and a number of offices. And have a broad technology and service offering. So it's a very, very complementary fit, a very logical fit for us. We retain our autonomy in terms of our go-to-market and our strategy and delivery, but have the might and power of a much larger group behind us that we can leverage and work with to ultimately provide a better service and a broader service offering to our customers. Which is fantastic. It's a very natural step, but a very, very complementary one, both geographically and service offering as well.
When I read the word strategic, there's a matter of time. Was it a very long time to negotiate with them, or it was around a cup of tea and it was done around something, a dinner or something like that?
We were in conversation for about 12 months. It's a big step, it's a big investment. So clearly SQLI were doing due diligence and making sure that there was a right fit, both in terms of our market presence and what we're providing to customers, but also the culture and making sure that actually the businesses will be able to work together and there's a natural fit in the relationship. So it was a long conversation, but ultimately a very, very
a good handshake.
Very much so.
So what does that mean for Mauritius? What are the implications for Mauritius, for your office in Mauritius?
Sure. So one of the reasons I'm here is to reassure the team it's very much business as usual. Redbox is still Redbox. We're still going to market in the countries where we're selling to customers in the same way we do. We still have all the same demands and needs for the services we provide out of Mauritius for our customers. So that's not going to change. And indeed, what we hope to do over time is provide some of those services into the broader group as well. In terms of the capability we provide here, the 24/7 support and DevOps and QA and development, there's requirement for those services within the broader SQLI group. So,
what is the DNA? Excuse me, the DNA of Redbox. What is your DNA? What is your core?
It's the people, right? I mean, we're a service business. I said to our team yesterday when we talked about this, we don't develop any products. We don't sell products, I should say. We don't create intellectual property. Our core value and the DNA is all in the people. It's in the culture and the way we work together and the skills and capability we bring to market, right? So having a team that is working closely together and culturally very aligned is absolutely fundamental. And that core DNA of the business is very much based around people.
So, do you want to make the Mauritian office here in Eben to be a centre of excellence?
It's always been our drive and our ambition, our vision Mauritius, and the way we talk about it is very much a centre of excellence. We want it to be providing that core capability and often and direction to the way that we're implementing and doing work across different markets. So that we get standardisation, we get efficiency, we get the process driven behind it. So all of the service offering we provide in this office is based around that sort of capability. It's absolutely a key component of our business operation today.
So your choice in 2014 was a good one?
Absolutely, yeah, we're really pleased with where we've got to. It hasn't always been plain sailing, as with any business anywhere in the world, there's always ups and downs, but overall we've achieved a great thing here in Mauritius and with the team and the capability we're able to provide to customers all over the world. So yeah, we're very happy and very much are looking to grow the team and grow the business here further from what we have today.
So you're very happy with the Mauritian IT specialists in the country?
Yeah, and we're seeing even right now we're seeing a lot of graduates and placement activity coming through, which is fantastic. Yeah, there is a good volume of capability and indeed in the IT sector, quite strong. There's strong courses and degrees and what have you that people are taking, and so yeah, we are pleased with that level of skill that we're seeing coming through. We want to harness more of that and give broader opportunities, and this investment by SQLI helps us do that in terms of potentially opening up opportunities across Europe more than we have previously. So yeah, the general quality of candidate and quality of specialisation coming out of IT training and universities here is generally pretty strong.
You use the word enhance. Do you do intern formation, intern training? Because someone coming from the university holding a degree can go plugging easily in the Redbox?
We are doing more and more of it. We haven't done a lot of it historically, but we recognised a few years ago that we need to increase that. So this year in particular, we're doing quite a lot of placement work with students, and absolutely looking to train them up and bring them on board in terms of the skills and the technology and the business awareness that we can provide with customers, all over the world, in Europe, obviously, and in the Middle East, but we have customers in the US and in Asia Pacific and things as well. So it's a really interesting exposure and opportunity that we can bring to graduates to understand not just the technology and not just e-commerce and things, but also get some insight into business behaviours and business activities in different parts of the world.
Are there some challenges resting behind you? Are there still challenges for Redbox?
Of course, I mean, no business is perfect, right? The world would be a very different place if everything was perfect. But yeah, of course there are challenges. I think locally in Mauritius, the recent labour law changes have introduced some additional challenges that we're working around and looking how to accommodate. But generally speaking, I think one of the key things we've found in Mauritius is when challenges arise, whether they be legislative challenges or whether they be practical or even climatic challenges in terms of impact of weather events or obviously at the moment coronavirus is playing havoc around the world, obviously. One of the key things we've seen with the team here and the culture in Mauritius is there's a really positive attitude to adapting and changing and finding solutions, which is for any business is always key. So challenges will always exist. That's what makes business interesting.
You said the word, the news word, coronavirus. Do you think that will have an impact on your company compared to what we are seeing in Italy, what we are going to see in France and in coming days? All the school universities, everything is going to be locked down.
It's already having an impact. I mean, every business, every country, I think, has seen impacts. It's clearly a pretty scary time for the world, and the impact on our business is probably less and more limited than a lot of businesses because we have an ability to work remotely and effectively business continuity plans in place for teams to work from home. It's relatively natural in this technology industry. The access to that technology and the ability to do what we do from home or working remotely is pretty much second nature. So our exposure is a bit more limited from a day-to-day perspective. Our clients definitely are having huge impact. Our retail clients are seeing footfall in their stores down 40 to 50%, which clearly has EBIT and revenue impact, which ultimately then has strategic investment impact. So we will absolutely see challenges across the landscape globally. It's not just for, it's very focused on Europe at the moment, but ultimately this will impact pretty much every country in the world. So as with most businesses, we're planning for that and doing what we can, but it's a very fast moving and uncertain time in terms of where it will end. But we thankfully we are not directly impacted at the moment in terms of any of our staff or customers. But we're taking every step we can to make sure that we support our staff and our teams and have them ready if we do need to be working remotely in isolation.
You have a sanitary protocol. You have already placed your sanitary protocol in all these branches, even in Maurice.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean the protocols and details have been in place in terms of our business continuity planning for many years. So we're enacting some of those policies and practices, and I think importantly, culturally, giving the team the ability to make their decisions or their own decisions. This is not just about a government policy or even a business policy. It's a very personal and individual thing. People have got livelihoods that are impacted by school closures or by spouses or family members that may or may not be impacted. So if staff members are feeling uncomfortable to travel or to be around other people, then we want to give them that flexibility.
Are you reducing your personnel who is going by plane from one of our only important, I want to say, very important, crucial meetings to?
Absolutely. So all of the non-essential travel, be it client-related or internal, is being reduced, and there's very, very little of that going on.
But are your employees ready to work at home? Sometimes it is better to work at home. I know about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to be far from home, so
a lot of our staff work from home. We have flexi working policies which enable many of our staff in different offices around the world to have the option to work from home on certain days anyway. So it's a process and a culture that we're used to and we run with every day. Applying it to everyone on the team all at the same time will be unique, but we're absolutely prepared. We have the technology and the services and the access to communication channels to do it tomorrow if needed.
Are you following the news? Maybe the stock market are going up and down every day. This story. I don't know if you are on the stock market, but are you ethic? Are you following the situation?
Absolutely.
Seeing what is the values of your companies or your clients?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's critical to understand the impact, and that the world is in very uncertain times economically and in many other ways. Like it or not, we look to be heading towards a recession of some sort. That
you have a recession. You're the first one talking about recession.
I think it's pretty hard to see any other outcome. Especially as more and more countries lock down, and the impact on everything from day to day, tourism and entertainment, and the economic impact on all of these things, the lack of travel, the lack of all of these activities, especially in the northern hemisphere as we get closer to summer, even things like holidays over Easter and things, the flow and impact or lack of spend on that is colossal. So I was in London earlier in the week and talking to a cab driver, and he said, "Look, we're 30% down on a Tuesday." That flow and impact into the day-to-day economy is significant. So many global markets weren't necessarily in the strongest of health. They just came out of some uncertain times. So this is going to hit pretty hard, I would imagine. But the governments are, to their credit, the governments are doing everything they can to reassure the markets and indeed reinsure the overall economy. So hopefully it won't be too significant, but there will definitely be impacts.
You just told that the government is here to reinsure. What do you do to assure your customers, your clients, that you're here for them? You have offices and Mauritius. What do you give them to reassure them?
Yeah, it's all about communication. right? So, as with a lot of companies, we've been communicating to our clients around both our performance in terms of our stability and economic position. Obviously, the acquisition by SQLI is very, very positive in that regard. So there's a greater level of resource and access and ability to weather any ups and downs, which is fantastic. But from a day-to-day perspective, the key message to clients is, look, our teams are operating. We're taking precautions and measures as we need to make sure that they're fit and healthy and not impacted by activities in the world. Other than that, it is business as usual. So, the key for us is all about communication.
Is it a good time? Do you think there will be a boom? I see that you have mobile commerce solution, multiple channel e-commerce strategies. There will be a boom because no one would like to go to China. I don't know, in 6-7 months. Is it the e-commerce, the thing e-commerce is going to have a second boom, a second life?
Look, there's definitely some people looking at the potential positive impacts of the current situations on digital and in particular on e-commerce. There's statistics flying around at the moment in terms of increased usage of online ordering and online digital solutions, obviously, across many sectors. So there will naturally be some flow and impact. I think the balance for that will obviously be a lot of multi-channel or omni-channel retailers are obviously suffering in the physical presence. So there needs to be a balancing act on this. And we may well see more of a shift towards online. But it's hopefully relatively short term if the retailers can sustain and survive the hopefully short term impacts of coronavirus. Then we get back to normal operating environments. But it's uncertain times.
Do you think there will be a normal operating services afterwards?
I think so. I mean, it's interesting when you look at China, who are obviously slightly ahead of the curve. They have adapted new processes and techniques and methods just in the general day-to-day process. So I think that's a natural outcome because some of these things are forced. Some of those processes and changes may well stick. But hopefully those are improvements in efficiencies and whatnot. From a customer buy-in and a customer behaviour perspective, we may well see some sort of long-term behavioural changes and shifts in buying habits. Logically, you would expect that maybe to increase more online because of the isolation factor. But again, when you look at these sorts of activities in history, they're thankfully relatively short term, even though the impacts are colossal. So we're very lucky as a generation. We're very lucky we have this technology and access to services and the ability to continue some normality in day-to-day life. When such severe activity and isolation and lockdowns are taking place across the world. I mean, 10 years ago, it would just not have been possible.
For an entrepreneur, are there some opportunities right now?
I'm sure there probably are. Absolutely. I mean, there's the demand changes, right?
Or shifting, yes.
Exactly. So that naturally in business will dictate that there is demand or opportunity, I should say. Of course, there's always opportunity, whether it's whether people see it as positive or not, but it's a different thing. But naturally, there will always be opportunity just in different areas.
You're leaving Maurice in a few hours.
Yeah.
What will be the message that you're going to tell to your staff in the country that you're going from Maurice? Because we are I might say the only country we visit with no case of that virus. What would be your message to them?
I think the key message to the team in London, but in the Middle East and in our other offices is, it is very much business as usual in Mauritius at the moment. We are prepared if there are cases here for the team to be working from home. But the core services that we provide from this office carry on as normal. So, the team are excited and energised. Obviously, they're worried about the potential of cases here on the island. But I've been really impressed with both our team, but also just being out and about and out to dinner and things last night. the population are getting on with things and obviously aware, but precautions have been taken, and I think the country is dealing with it and protecting itself as much as it can to not be affected in mass scales. So it's a positive message. It's very much business as usual, but we're taking things day by day, as you can imagine.
So you're doing a day-by-day re-evaluation of what are the news, what can be done, what Maurice can do within the team?
Indeed, I mean, we take the advice of the government authorities in each market, obviously, and follow those guidelines. But like most businesses around the world, we take a day-by-day assessment, and it's such a fast-moving situation.
So in that fast-moving situation, that would be my last question. What are the news you're looking at? Stocks, situation, customers?
Yeah, look, we're speaking to our customers constantly in terms of both their planning and activities. I mean, a lot of our customers are physical retailers. They'll have online presence, obviously, but they're physical retailers, so they've got huge challenges and impacts on their own in terms of lack of footfall or operational activities being impacted. So we're in constant contact with them, understanding about how we can help them in terms of the shift of their customer base online, and prepare any activities that we may need to support that increased online activity, but also just the practical day-to-day operation aspect for ourselves. So of course we're looking at the stock market and things and keeping a view on the general media, but actually the more important thing for us is looking at the advice and the impact, the advice from the authorities as to what our teams in every location need to be doing, so we can act and give our staff the most opportunity to keep themselves safe.
With this good word, thank you very much, Jonty Sutton. Have a nice flight back to UK, I think.
Absolutely, indeed, thank you.
You're welcome.